time.
All right, everybody, we are here. Another episode of Regulator Talk. This time, we spiced it up a little bit. We brought in a woman. All right, so
A
don't be
woman.
scared. All right,
Hello, everybody.
she's
I'm
just
the
like
woman.
us. Yeah, good.
My phone
Goof's the
charger
woman.
isn't working.
All right, so returning is the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the video game rant industry, Osiris. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pissed and ready to yell.
He's ready to yell. Oh man, Oz's rants would be great. Viv, you're joining us for the first time ever.
Yay.
You don't seem that excited. You were like, I want to talk about Fallout, and now you're like, oh.
No,
yeah.
I'm using my phone and my phone charger's not working.
Yeah.
So I just gotta like turn on my computer and do that, and I want death.
It's
I'm excited though.
all right. And then Goof, this is your first podcast, also, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You're like, why is this one my first?
Yeah, I don't know why this was the first.
You always
I
remember
don't
the
even think I
first.
was supposed to be in this one. You just kind of, all right.
Yeah.
I found
This is to keep him awake. Well, there goes Viv.
It
She
was-
switches to the
She's,
computer.
yeah, it was she
Yeah.
mainly Viv. Probably, I can't leave. 'Cause I physically
Hello.
cannot leave because
Yeah.
Viv will call me and yell at me if I leave. Oh,
That's
Oh
good.
yeah, I will. If you leave, I'm going to make sure you get spam called, and
all right.
I will literally use George's phone to call you on Snap. I'll use my phone to call your phone. I'll get everyone to call you.
I can't wait to get the comments on this video where it's like, why is she screaming? Is she angry? And it's like, no, that's just how she talks.
Yeah, it is how she
She's,
talks.
There's only two volumes. There's loud and extra loud.
No,
So-
there's no. There's three. There's loud,
Oh.
extra loud, or I just don't talk at all and I'm silent.
All right. So just like a little, you press it in, it goes mute. But let's jump in here to our first and only topic, which is a big one. And because of Oz, we can go on for hours, which is a great thing because it gives us a ton of stuff to talk about. But it's going to be Fallout 76. So by the time that this video drops, we're recording this on the 10th, which you might have heard the horrible joke of your today's date, a 10 out of 10. Dad jokes. Hey, yeah.
I get it.
So in 3 days from now, there will be the stress test beta, which is Xbox exclusive. And then coming around the corner when this video actually drops on the 13 days from when this was recorded on the 23rd, there will be the actual break it early tested application, or whatever it's called. It's the beta. And that's going to be for everybody. But that's only on Xbox One first for 7 days. And then I got to wait all the way till the day before Halloween, so I know where I'm spending my Halloween, to try it out on the PC and people on the PlayStation also. It brings up a lot of concerns for it. Right now, the game is not cross-platform, even though they were pushing for it, which was very interesting because Sony budged, and now they're doing it. I don't know if you guys have heard about it or played Fortnite at all, but now everyone's playing it together. Phone, mobile, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whole 9 yards. That's a different conversation.
It was a big part of our.
Yeah, and Bethesda,
Now, see,
Bethesda's pushing for it, and now we
The
don't
only
get it.
reason to get a PS4 is to play Spider-Man, and that's it. You don't need a PS4 for any other reason.
But the thing about the thing that was so good about that was I'm kind of happy because that means that potentially there could be cross-platform in the future.
Yeah.
Because I remember Bethesda was starting to get rid of it and just throw it out the window because Sony decided to keep their head up their ass, like as far as up their ass as humanly possible, and it was like, guys, we're competing, and everyone else was like, no, we're not. That's like 2008. That's an old meme. Please don't.
They're just like, hey, let's compete about some.
She's dead.
It's like just screaming. It's like just screaming at a wall, expecting for your wall to yell back at you.
So we're going to jump to the first subtopic here with Osiris. And Bethesda's saying this game is not going to be cross-platform. Even though they were pushing for it, Sony budged. And doesn't make it any better that even though they're not doing cross-platform, that Xbox is still bottom out or whatever. And they're not only are they getting the game early on the 23rd for the beta, which does transfer over to the main game because it is the full game, but they're also getting this stress test which potentially could just be another word for the beta, even though it might not transfer over to everything. What are your thoughts on that one? You're not being,
So,
and
so when it comes to this stuff,
passing over.
I didn't even know about the stress test until like an hour or so ago. And when it comes to these things, it's even been kind of hard to follow Fallout 76 just because it's hard to wheedle out and thread through all the bullshit and clickbait stuff. But when it comes to this stress test and the beta, I'm not really shocked at all. And I don't even really personally care because it's like they were already getting the beta early. So what's another week early? Like, what does it really matter? But I think really it should be kind of expected, at least for the PS4 side, because Bethesda essentially burnt that bridge as soon as they started complaining about the crossplay stuff. If anything, this is probably just Bethesda spitting in Sony's face one more time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. If you guys are going to be dicks about it, then we're just going to go and take our business elsewhere, and we'll give Xbox all the cool stuff. And it's not very often Xbox gets the cool stuff, so it's not like this is a normal thing.
I would argue to say that Xbox, PlayStation exclusives, they got Spider-Man. But Spider-Man, that's sadly probably going to die out.
Okay, that is not... on that one. I will argue that right now. So I have a PS4. I don't have an Xbox One. Mm-hmm. I don't really play my PS4, though, so I don't know if I'm really a fanboy of them or anything. But the thing is, like, Xbox, I can think of, like, in terms of kind of unique IPs that don't count as like racing games like Forza and stuff. Mm-hmm. You have like Halo, which has been kind of on the downturn the last few years. We're still looking to see what happens with Infinity. And you have like maybe Gears of War, but I haven't heard people really talk about that since forever ago. But on PS4, you have all the Naughty Dog games. You got Uncharted, The Last of Us. You have freaking Spider-Man. Sony itself has been pretty good. You also have God of War. You have plenty of different titles that have been raking in the dough for like the last year or so. Like they are still going strong.
They got more exclusives, but I don't think they have that longevity to them. Like Spider-Man, it's still a linear story. Eventually it will end. Even if it has DLC, it will have a conclusion to its game cycle.
Good enough for me.
I think that I'm glad that Microsoft didn't, or Rockstar didn't, go full on with Red Dead Redemption 2 only being on Xbox as it was previously. But I think Xbox with their game's life cycle lasts much longer. Whether it is a disappointing Halo or a Gears of War. Is it?
No, the Red Dead Redemption 2, the new one.
No, the original one.
The original Red Dead Redemption is on PS3.
Is it on both?
Yeah,
I thought it was exclusive.
I own it on PS3.
I don't know. I thought it was exclusive at first.
Nope.
No, it's for PS3 and Xbox. I've played it on both.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're kind of like the same.
Yeah, I'd imagine just being last gen.
There's like, I think there's one thing that they add, and is if you have Xbox Gold, then you get a free Golden Cattleman revolver. Mm-hmm. But that's just a gold revolver, and it's the lowest tier.
So we're gonna get to that also, but I think the only long-term PlayStation game that comes to my mind is Uncharted. That it has that multiplayer to make it last once you're done with the single player, because most of the single players, there isn't a constant adapting world. It's just, in the Spider-Man case, it's New York, and you're kind of just swinging around there and
doing stuff.
That's kind of like you're mostly just doing the story. The side stuff, once you do it, 100% it. That's it. In the case of Last of Us, it had multiplayer. People weren't crazy talking about it though.
It wasn't too.
But I know that Gears of War and Halo, like they try to make it last more with the multiplayer support, and I think that's the way that everyone's kind of going, as you see with Fallout 76. And I think Xbox is doing a thing where play early, play it 4 days early. A lot of people are doing the whole play it 4 days early thing, which is very weird. From when I was playing games, it was like we all rushed out on like a Tuesday or Monday night to get the game, and now it's like play 4 days early, digital and all that. So
I have two things about what you said. The first one is you keep talking about the longevity of these games and like how even though these games are good, they don't last forever. When did that become the most important like one of the most important criteria to hit. Yes, Spider-Man, God of War, and all these games and stuff, they don't last forever, but they are masterpieces. Like, they are literally, like, most of them are like 8 to 10 out of 10s all across the board. If a game is a 10 out of 10, I don't care if it only lasts like 8 hours and then I'm done with it. If it was a phenomenal experience, I'm good.
It's worth
And
it.
when it comes to Xbox, it seems they have a lot of games that you can play for a long time, but that they're not like polished experiences. They're not memorable experiences anymore. Halo is not a memorable experience anymore because they've changed so much. I'm now sitting in a position where I used to love Halo, and now I'm praying to God they don't screw it up again.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really get that feeling with Sony games.
I don't want to take it away from Fallout 76 as the main discussion, but definitely with Halo when what was it 343 Studios and all that.
Yeah,
the whole thing happened, and Bungie. You know, I'm not a fan of Destiny at all, Destiny 2 or the original one. So like,
don't get started.
Yeah,
nope.
But
it's not relevant.
As I was going though with the Xbox, when you see them doing, is they've done with like Battlefield and stuff like that. You know, the beta gets this early, or they get this exclusive skin or item or stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of influence there, I'll say, when it comes to Microsoft, because they want to tie people down, whether it's exclusive or the game lasting longer. So I think they're more into it for tying people down, whereas Sony's like, all right, we just released a game, you'll beat it over the weekend, and then you'll get the next game, you know?
Well, and I'm going to try to go back to the second point, just to, since we're still going on top about this like early access and stuff, and how it's kind of weird how developers are giving like early access to certain platforms. I personally, at least in this situation, there's probably some more extreme ones that I'm forgetting, but I don't think it should really matter. I'm the very staunch believer in the fact that many people in this industry, like in terms of consumers, I feel like a lot of them really lose sight of the big picture when it comes to these things. Because I mean, so if we count this stress test, how far ahead does Xbox users get to use Fallout 76?
17 days.
17 days, and it's supposed to be a beta stress test.
So what I'm imagining is, let me check in 3 days. It'll probably be Saturday, Sunday. I imagine it'll be 2 days, and then after that, on the 23rd, which is a Tuesday, they'll probably get it all the way till probably Sunday, and then on the 30th, I'd imagine they'd get it all the way to the 4th, and then the game drops, I believe, what is it, the 13th or 14th? I don't know.
It's either the 13th or the 14th.
Let me check that up real quick, but
I was just about to.
See, that is the thing there. See, it says initial release October 23rd, but that's not right at all, Wikipedia.
It's November 14th.
Yeah, 14th. So they're handling this beta very weird. So we have Knight, who is a British pal of ours, friend of ours, and we might not even be able to play with him during this whole beta phase, because it's said that it's going to be region locked. It's said that it's going to be open for certain hours of the day. So it's very much not a beta at that point. Like, it's like kind of a demo almost, you know, because when I think of, if you want to stress it, if you want to beta it, if you want to break it, get everybody, you know, no matter the time zone, no matter anything. So I think opening it up for certain periods of hours of a day is already very odd, because you look at different time zones, you look at, you know, so I hope ultimately they don't do that, because they're already treading on very, very thin ice when it comes to the topics of them doing this for Xbox, you know. And we could have all said we've seen that coming anyways, because when the YouTubers went to go try out the game at the Greenbrier in West Virginia over the past week, it was on the Xbox One X. So you can already see where this is heading there. And the game's going to feature microtransactions, so
everyone's gonna love those.
They're going to be called atoms. So I don't know if they're going to be tied in with the Creation Club or not. That's another interesting thing.
I saw that's apparently that seems to be, that's like their currency. So I don't know if that's going to be like like a creation club, or if that's just going to be you find it, or leveling up gives you it, or what.
Yes,
but in terms of the stress test, I'm pretty sure, I'm more than certain it's going to be one of those demos you said, but it's like it's going to have a cap. They're not going to let you do whatever you want. There's going to be a level limit and all this shit, so that way you don't, they want you to test it out, but they don't want you to literally break it, because they're going to make it so, there's probably going to be level cap, maybe around 20, I'd say. Depends on how level difficult.
I'm looking some stuff up now, just so we don't sound like a bunch of idiots, and so we get the facts. I'm on their website right now, and according to this, the Fallout 76 stress test is a smaller time stress test, which means when you're getting into this access, not only are you just a randomly chosen person, there's not really a way to get yourself into there. It's just random, and you sign an NDA, so you can't talk about this stuff afterwards. And since it's a time stress test, there's no real telling how long these stress tests will actually be. It could be between an hour to a full day, but the whole point isn't really to play the game, it's to try to break it. And so I don't know if I'd really even count that as like an early access thing. It's still weird that they only do it on Xbox One, but it seems that it's a thing that's actually going through Xbox Insider, which is a Microsoft thing. So it sounds more like their kind of stuff rather than Bethesda. And the reason I even I'm staying with this stuff is for anybody who's getting mad about Xbox getting like an extra however many days, was it a week? Like get the 23rd and then the rest get the 30th? I don't recall.
Yeah.
So it's like a week, and it's like, I personally, if I was a pre-order of this stuff, which I'm currently not, I just don't really believe in pre-ordering stuff regardless of betas or any other crap, because it's only a week. Who even cares? What does it matter? You gotta wait 1 week when this isn't cross-platform anyways, so it's not like you're gonna miss out playing with your friends on PS4. It's nothing like that. Who cares? You can't stay off the internet or stay away from Fallout 76 stuff for a week? Just come on. I don't really think that should be a really big deal. If anything, you should be like, if you have Xbox One, cool, now I get to play a week ahead. If I don't, well, shit, I get to wait another 7 days. It's just not... It's not that long of a time. They act like they're waiting like 5 years to play this game.
Yeah, and I'm sure also another issue of why you really shouldn't care about, if you don't have Xbox, think about it this way, like people who do have Xbox and are picked for it, they're going to be playing a version of the game that's more than likely completely incomplete and probably a bit more broken than the beta will be. It's probably going to be, the servers will go down. So if people think, oh, they're going to be playing it all the time, no, it's a stress test. The servers are going to go down. That's more than certain. They're going to have a huge influx of these people. They're going to come in, and the servers are going to be laggy, or they're just going to go down completely. So it's not even like they're going to be able to play for the whole time. And he said they even had the limits. So like people, some hours you can't play, some hours you can't. Like it's bound to crash and it's bound to be buggy. So I'm sure it'll reach a point where I will just wait as well. I'll be like, I'll just pre-order and wait, because if you can't, playing a broken game that is like constantly just like lagging and everything, I would rather just wait a week. I'd be like, you know what, like it's a bit of a headache right now. So that's what that's why I don't think people should freak out too much about it.
What do you guys think about the server limit for this game, by the way?
Isn't it 24?
It's 24. That is, for a game that is promoting multiplayer, even though it's still, I won't call it their first multiplayer game, but it's still, in terms of Fallout.
It's a pretty.
I wouldn't even say that.
It's a big step in the Fallout multiplayer direction.
Fallout Tactics had multiplayer, but in terms of an actual Bethesda, let's put it that way, multiplayer.
Why do you gotta bring up Tactics?
Because it's one of my favorites.
But, okay.
But it's great. But no, I think 24 is a really low number when they're saying that this world is 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
I have something about this. Especially because it's even like including the fact that it's supposed to be 4 times the size. I really don't think 24 is a ridiculous number, considering the setting of this game and just what you're actually doing in this. I think it is a little dumb because they said that they're not going to include NPCs. I think we'll probably go into that.
I don't think you have to worry about that one. I know we'll get more into that, but my theory here with that is that, of course, they've been saying this is a game you can play forever. I think that, of course, they'll update it, and as they update it, NPCs will start arriving, whether they be custom new factions or known ones like Brotherhood of Steel arriving to the area. And I think that very much is like I would put money and say that is a guarantee certainty within maybe the next 4 years, 5 years of the game, you will see NPCs, whether they be known factions, new ones, or just like raiders and stuff like that, because they gotta spice it up, and I think that was their thing that they're taking away just to put back in. It's really stupid, but I understand, you know, it'll give that bit of hype for a raider update or something, you know?
I just feel like that's also kind of just reliant on the idea that they're going to have a big enough team to make those type of updates later in this game, because this is Bethesda. They've already announced Elder Scrolls 6. They're going to be working on that alongside maintaining this game. So I'm not going to put any faith into anything that isn't confirmed. But the thing that I was going for was, I do think it's kind of weird that they're going to have a 24-player cap and then not really have NPCs, or at least to some extent, it's not really going to be the same. Because you got to remember, this is Fallout 76. This game is taking place 25 years after the nuclear apocalypse that destroyed the entire world. Yep. I'd imagine that at this point, humanity didn't really have enough time to begin rebuilding the population. That's kind of the whole point of this story. And so I don't know if it would be expected to have like tons and tons of people running around in this wasteland that should really still be radioactive.
So I don't know if y'all have seen the IGN, the guy that not from IGN review, and he played a little bit of it, and one of his complaints, which I definitely saw an issue, he goes, so what the big issue was that there's no NPCs, and he goes, but this kind of gets rid of the whole charm of Fallout. When I played Fallout, one of the big memorable parts wasn't, it was, the story and everything, but it wasn't mainly like,
it was
the enemies.
The NPCs.
It was the NPCs and their characters. And he said that the way he got quests, the quest was go to a computer. The computer tells you to do this, you go get it, come back, the computer gives you rewards. Bam, that's any interaction you had.
My brother, one of my brother's theories, when we first saw the trailer and everything, obviously it's been a while from that. It was like, how is questing gonna work and everything. One of his original theories was gonna be like holotapes, computers, and all that. And it's like that just takes away so much fun from the game because the NPCs really just make the game better.
That's the thing, is that if it was a holotape, I wouldn't mind if it was like a recording or something to kind of have a character behind it. But if it's just AI, if it's just a computer and there's no voice, it just takes away from the charm of an NPC, And then there's probably more than likely companions. I don't think companions are going to be a thing.
It takes away the aspect of the game that everyone enjoys so much. I doubt companions will be a thing if they're not going to have NPCs.
Companions, I think that'll be long term. If they ever do it, I think that would be like a. I don't really want to say this game's going to become like Fortnite and have seasons and stuff like that, but like it could happen.
I think it will be like, okay, I think it will be more of like hey, here's like some random pet you can get that's not really a companion, but sort of is.
Well, it's
going
to be like a dog or a cyber dog or
just something, but it's not going to be that like. In Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas, and just all of Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, with the companions, they always had like a story behind the companions, and you got to know that follower. And I don't like the fact that there's not going to be any NPCs in Fallout 76 because of that. I always loved to learn about the NPCs, to hear what that person, to learn about that person. And it just takes a lot away from that. It takes away the enjoyment I always found in the game.
The IGN video that I'm pretty sure all of us watched, which was a really good one. I have
not watched it.
I'll send you a link to it. They described it in the title as a strangely lonely multiplayer game, and I could see that very much because I've been watching a lot of Fallout 76 videos. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen ones with teams. I've seen ones with squads, or duos, and I've seen solo play, and the solo play is very awkward. I will say that too. It is really cool when you're alone and then you run into a person, but at the same time, it was the developers. So like, I don't know how, there's gonna be that weird gap in the game where a majority of us are gonna be just level 1 run around murder hobos. Until the game really takes off for a couple of weeks, everyone's just gonna be level 1. There's not gonna be that bases everywhere or create a base here or there. And
it's gonna be kind of like the getting started part.
I've been seeing the little quests and how they work out and timed events and stuff like that, which I like the timed event ones. They were really interesting. But the quest, I don't like how they were handled with you saw Mary Sue's burnt body and she got burned because she looked at the thing or something stupid, and then you do the quest for her and find out what was wrong with her family or something, and then it just pops up in your inventory. I really don't like that aspect of stuff just popping up in your inventory after a quest.
It takes away immersion, honestly.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I've been staying away from a lot of like the videos and the theories and everything about that, and I kind of vowed that because everyone has a different opinion on it, and everyone's gonna have a different opinion on it, and I kind of want to wait and like I want to watch the videos and I want to see the gameplay and all of it, but I really just, when the beta comes out, I want to get a feel of the game for myself.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to stay away from all that. So instead of having like opinions that are, I forgot the word. What's that one word where like?
What? What's the word?
I had a brain fart.
Oh.
It's like, okay, like I don't want to base my experience off of someone else's opinion. Like I want to just wait until I can experience it myself without watching any of it and just really know whether or not I'm gonna like it.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen the problem was there's a lot of YouTubers who went to the site, and there's a lot of different ones. So there's ones going into it who only wanted to build, ones who only wanted to explore, only do quest, only PvP. There wasn't much PvP, I'll say that. I'm really glad about that. PvP though, I think ultimately they are shying very much away from it. I'm not a PvP guy, but I can see definitely where if a person is not engaging you and you shoot that guy in the head with a sniper rifle, in this game he will not drop down instantly, which makes no sense. If you get the strategic sneak advantage on him, he will not drop instantly from a headshot with a sniper rifle just because he was not engaging you. And there seems to be that big difference in you beating a person because you only get their junk. You don't actually get all of their armor. So if you go against a guy in power armor who harasses you and you kill him, you should be like, well, I should get that power armor. So like, I think it's very weird with multiplayer PvP in this.
I think when it comes to like the PvP aspect, they don't really want that because it just, not a lot of people enjoy PvP, and the very few that do, the type of PvP they'll probably be engaging in is like, they'll find someone and they'll probably be like, hey, you want a PvP? And if they're down for it, then they'll PvP. But like, I don't think anyone's just gonna go around just shooting up someone for the hell of it, because that just, it takes away fun, honestly.
Yeah, it may seem...
I don't want to walk around and then get shot up and die, and it's like, fuck you, buddy. No, I want you to come up to me.
It might seem good and bad, but they should do a thing where it's like, this is a PvE server and this is a PvP server.
Yeah.
That would
like,
eliminate the problem instantly.
For those things.
Instantly, that would eliminate the problem. However, it all comes down to the servers, and that is still a big problem because of private servers, public servers. I can get over the fact with mod support till 2019. I'm completely okay with that. Given I did not touch Fallout 4 after I beat it for like a year because there was just no mods that re-enhanced the game, but that was a single player game. So I think this game solely puts itself on the people that you were playing with. If you were playing this game as a solo player, you probably will hate this game without a doubt. But if you're like us and there's 4 of us here and you have a strong group of friends, relationship, connection to them, and you have that you know, if you're on that world, especially if you're on a private server, you'll feel more inclined to protect it and be like, this, you know, I'm going to be the hero of this server. Where if you're just jumping around servers, I don't think you'll care at all. So
I think my main question is, like what I'm worried about is, how is changing servers going to work in terms of your loot? Are you going to, is it going to be like Rust or another game where you lose your loot? Or is it going to be like, you know, it switches over? Like I don't know how that's going to pan out.
Especially on consoles. That's what blows my mind
yeah,
on this.
That's also an issue. Is any server I've seen with server browsers, any console game I've seen with server browsers, like a good, like just Battlefield, no one uses the server browser. There's no point.
Yeah.
You just you want to get in whatever server you can. You're not joining for a specific reason. If you're on console, usually you just want to get in because like no one really cares about servers. They just care about the game. Because there's no one's hosting a server or renting a server. People do, but not a lot of people do. And when they do, it's for like, oh, they want a specific group of friends to play, or they just want like, you know, like 2 people to join.
Yeah.
And completely off topic, but I got my Dominoes.
Hey, that's pretty good.
But it's just, how is that transfer gonna work out? Is it gonna immediately just be on your body, or is it gonna stay on that server and you're gonna join on the server and you're gonna be like, you know, I have all my stuff. But then the issue also comes in, well, what if the server you normally play on is full? What do you do then? Do you just wait?
Yeah, especially because it's only 24
do you not
people.
Play Fallout?
Yeah. I think the game is trying to fix that problem with the little camp system. So everything is in your camp. This little, you know how we had the workbenches that showed your settlement area? I think that is where, like, okay, you put your camp down. But I still think, like, okay, if you want to put your camp down anywhere, sure, that's good, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe just because I haven't seen, like, the restrictions of, like, how close you can get to other stuff, and, like, can you truly just plop it down anywheres, and then boom, like, 2 seconds ago, there's no one living here, now there's, like, a giant tree house and wooden fortress, like...
I think when it comes to that, I mean, obviously you're going to be able to put it down anywhere, but probably, it's probably going to be limited to, like, if another player's camp is in that area, and like they really just want you to find a place where like no one else is, because they don't want you to be invading someone's territory, because then it's going to get all messy. And I think that's probably going to be like one of the few limitations they have on the camp system.
I wish we didn't have this conversation. I wish we didn't do this podcast, because now I've never felt so conflicted about this game. I've been conflicted about it for like the last month and a half.
I've been conflicted about it, but I haven't stated any of my opinions, because it's the one thing I don't want to argue about with people, because everyone has different opinions.
I think it's because no one's really, like, we've seen footage, but this is one of those games that until you play it, you're not going to know. Yeah, you cannot, you know, make the assumption. And because everybody who we've seen footage for is level 1. I've been looking around, I have not seen any footage of those Bethesda developers that were like level 50 and 70 and all that. So I think a level 1 experience is going to be a lot different than end game base building and all that. But not to cut you off,
everyone who's like, you know, like showing us this gameplay, they're like pretty much just getting paid to do it. So we don't really know how really reliable their opinion on it is.
There's been some that have just been pretty honest. I'll say that, and they have said, hey, you know, I went, they, you know, went there, played it, had a good time, but there's still a lot to be done and worked on.
Well, and this isn't really like necessarily the stuff that I'm like kind of sketchy about. Just from like the little bit that I've seen, what I'm hearing that they're doing with this game so far, and the stuff that we've even talked about right now, I'm really concerned that they are putting way too much effort into making this a multiplayer game, because they don't even know what the hell they're doing with the player balance and how like PvP is supposed to work. Like, I think they're trying too hard to make this kind of a fair game or like fun, and it's like, why do we even need this stuff?
Yeah, it's like, you don't really want
this kind of multiplayer PvP. Fallout. Why couldn't we just have a Fallout game where you could just get a group of buddies, like maybe 8 max friends, and you can go and play the Fallout game?
They probably should have started off. They're jumping the gun really fast.
They're rushing into this.
They should have, in my opinion, with something like Fallout 4, they should have done something like that, but then have like that drop in, drop out co-op. So like it's, you know, you can play the game start to finish, you know, with your buddy, or you can play alone, or start to finish you can play it. They still say that with 76, but there's no NPCs.
Like,
that's the thing. Like, it's a barren world, you know.
You know the state of you know the way they did multiplayer in State of Decay 2?
Oh, it was great. I wish there was more people for it, but they did great.
Yeah, I wish they would have, like, I know it obviously wasn't going to happen, but when it comes to the Fallout 76 multiplayer, I really wish that they would have done it like that, because that was something, you know, I actually enjoyed to do, because you didn't have to play it with other people, but you could, and there was still NPCs and everything.
Yeah. It's also, I hate to admit it, you know, everyone hates to admit it, but you know, Ubisoft games do well because they do co-op really, really well.
Oh yeah, Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed,
yeah, you can be single player, you're walking around single player, and your buddy, you can see your buddy just goes, I want to join, and you go, all right, he joins, nothing changes, it's exactly the same, and you just keep going, but it's co-op now, and. You know, but also another issue is loot. How is it gonna work? Is someone gonna be able to rush onto the server and just loot the shit out of it and just be like, I got a loot, and then no one else is gonna loot? Or do you think every loot box, like everything's gonna be specific to one person? Because if it's like, you know, first come first serve, that only works for games where it's either small or really competitive. I mean, people are getting shot down left and right, and they take their shit. So that way everything's evenly distributed. But if it's just one person goes in, bam, takes everything, and then now he's just like, you know, he's wandering off and like hiding from everyone, then how does anyone else get loot? If, you know, they can't find a gun or anything to kill any, you know, like enemy, then how are they supposed to level up or anything? Or is it just going to be basically anyone can get what they want and they don't have to worry about someone else?
What I've seen, one thing that does turn me off is that you have to be a certain level for some weapons. So it'll be like, hey, you have this weapon, and it's really good, but didn't you need to be like level 5 or 50 or something stupid to use it? That's completely a big turn off for me. I get it, because then you don't have a level 1 running around with a really powerful weapon, but then again, level 50 with a level 50 weapon, and shooting at the level 1, where's the fairness in that, you know?
Exactly.
So, but with the loot thing, what I've seen so far is that not everyone gets the same loot. Now, there are, like, events and stuff like that where you can, but at the same time, like, if you go looting a building, you know, I don't know how the respawns and stuff like that will work. I have not seen footage of a person return to an area or another person go to an area that was looted, that's replenished, so.
Watch them have season-themed events.
Oh, they are, without a doubt. When Christmas rolls around, you better get ready for, like, Christmas lights and everything.
Hell yeah!
I'm excited for Halloween,
like in Diamond City and Fallout 4, how like you saw the Christmas decorations when it became around Christmas, and then there was the Halloween decorations.
I will.
Can't wait for.
Kill myself if I see any of that shit in here. I can understand the Halloween ones because that's when like the bombs fell, was like around Halloween. But
yeah,
that is gonna kill me inside, and that is just another thing. Like, I feel like they're trying too hard to be in a mainstream game now, and I don't think it's really necessary. I don't think they really need to try this hard to be a mainstream game. I still loved Fallout 4, even though it was kind of like somewhat mixed after it was released. And my thing is, like, I feel like they're making too many compromises for the sake of changing how you play this game. Like, you don't get NPCs because you're supposed to focus on the multiplayer interactions. And when it comes to this balancing stuff, like, how are you going to balance it? What if your friend has been playing for like 5 months and is a level 50 and you're a level 1? How is that going to be balanced out? Who are they going to pair you up with? Like, obviously, probably going to lean more towards putting you with like level 50s as well. But then you're not going to have the best time.
And then there's
your friend carry you.
Yeah, it's the whole carrying thing that I just don't like that, because it's like you're gonna have a bunch of small levels carried around by big boys, and it's just gonna not be fair and just make the game less enjoyable.
This is where I feel like on PC the game will do best. The platform, the market that is not getting the beta first and all this other stuff, the ones that we had to wait for private servers, without a doubt, if you were to make this game only on the PC, as bad as that sounds for console players, it would do phenomenal. Because, for instance, the game that they've talked so much about, Rust, why is Rust unique in multiplayer? Because you go to a server, you stay on that server with your friends as your clan, your gang, whatever, and through hell or high water, if you lose everything, you restart, you remake a base. If there's a reset on the server, you are on that server defending your homestead, you know. And so the game on private servers, you can start off as level 1. You know, I think that is completely fair to say each private server should have a different character logged into it when it comes to levels. So you can say, hey, I'm a level 1 on this server, but I'm a level 30 on this one. But when you got to carry that on consoles from server to server to server, you know, that's something completely different, especially because bases are probably going to disappear when you log off. But if you do it on a private server, that it makes the world more populated, but it's still only 24 player servers at the moment for now. So like, there's still going to be tons of room, tons of stuff to destroy. I'd imagine there's base decay. I'm pretty sure they talked about that, so it's going to go away anyways, just like Rust. So like, I don't know.
And you know, one thing I can say is I'm praying that they've improved the base building. If they can fix some of the base build and make it a little bit more interesting, I'll be okay with that. But if it becomes to base decay and stuff, I'm not gonna like that either. Because that means, am I really gonna have to babysit this game if I want to like leave? Like, I won't be able to leave it for a little while, because then when I come back, everything's gonna be ruined. And I just think that is kind of frustrating as hell and not necessary.
I think with that one is the camp.
Am I gonna put this? What, like, I guess I can see like the whole camp feature thing and how that would make sense.
Yeah, it'll tell you like what you need to, like how many resources you need. Like if your wooden foundation's breaking, it'll say, hey, you need 30 wooden, then it will fix all of the foundations, so you don't have to go to each individual one. I don't know. I hope that's how it's done. You know, there's not been any long-term showcase.
I hope it's not overly complicated.
Oh yeah, hopefully not.
The chance of this game being
No, I think we've all agreed this game is either going to be really good or it's going to be shit. Like I there's no in between. I'm convinced it's either going to be really good or really shit.
I'm spending $80. If this game is shit, I'm drowning myself.
Well, I see, that's just one of those other things. Is I will not pre-order this. I'm not buying this on release. I will gladly wait 2 weeks if I have to get a good view on what this game is actually like. No, that is one thing. I've lost all sympathy for people who get pissed about a game. And I'm not saying like you shouldn't do it. Like if you want to take the risk and you think you're going to like it, then that's fine. I don't think I'm going to like this game as much as I should, so I'm not going to do it. But I don't really have I'm not going to shed any tears for people who buy this game and pre-order it and go to this beta and stick with it after the beta, and then they get pissed that the game's not what they wanted.
Yeah,
that's just like my little PSA. If you don't think you're gonna love it, don't pre-order it. Just wait 3 weeks.
You took the risk. You know, honestly, this isn't like a normal Fallout. Like this isn't like, you know, normal single player Fallout game. This is something that is completely different. Like this isn't their standalone game where it's like, oh, it's gonna be another Fallout game. No, this is something that that's an experiment. This is something that isn't gonna be a certain like, oh, this game's gonna be awesome.
Will it be worse than Fallout? Will it be worse than Fallout Brotherhood of Steel?
This game has a chance of being shit. It doesn't have it.
It's a 50-50 chance of it either being shit or it either being good. My views are leaning more towards shit, but I'm gonna give it a couple months. I'm gonna give it chances. So,
and when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm not even just talking about Fallout 76. I'm talking about basically any game.
Yeah, no, yeah.
To me, just waiting for actual reviews to come out, especially if you have a trusted reviewer, chances are everybody's going to be reviewing this game. Everyone's going to have their opinion, and you'll have somebody that you can take their opinion and say, okay, yeah, I can accept that. I think that's a legit opinion to have. And it's just, I don't believe in that idea of giving them money and praying for the best. And I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. It's just that whole situation with people getting pissed after they pre-ordered something. I just don't feel bad.
Yeah, like I have the only games I pre-ordered are State of Decay 2, and then I pre-ordered Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm more than happy to take the risk of it being a flop. It can be. It's like, you know, it can be another GTA 5 where over time it just gets worse and worse. Like I pre-ordered it because I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be a good prequel to the first game. I think it's really, you know, gonna take off. If it doesn't, so what? If it doesn't, I'm gonna be damn sure I make use of that $80. I'm not gonna be like, oh shit, I'm not gonna play the game because one reviewer left like a 4 out of 5 or like a 2 out of 5. No, I'm gonna play that game. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna find a way to have fun. I have played games that I can argue are like absolute utter dog trash. All right, like games that I just don't like Battlefield 1. I don't like that game. But I play with friends, and that's my way of getting my money's worth. Is I'm gonna play with the friends, so that way I can somehow get something out of it. I can, you know, bond with these people, and I'm not gonna inherently have fun alone. But with friends, I most certainly will have fun. So if that's the case, yeah, I'll totally wait till the Red Dead Redemption 2 online comes out, and I play with the buddy, and we just, you know, have fun dicking around.
And that'll definitely be the Fallout 76 thing. Without a doubt, I think solo players. I think from a solo play, in this game, I probably would never be a solo player because of the amount of friends we have. I think we, as us four, or Knight, or anybody Flash, the whole 9 yards, anyone who plays this game as a team or squad of 4, I think for us to see that solo player, I think our experience will be much different because I think we'll try to like assimilate them into our group somehow. I don't think we'll go and just kill them, harass them, you know, or trade with them when I think we'll try to bring them along for the journey. So as a single player, it depends very much on the people you run into, whereas with a group setting as 4, I think you can have a lot of like team-based, you know, objectives of like, okay, well, I'm gonna go on this part of the map for a little bit, get some resources, bring it back home, or we're all gonna knock out some event or something. So
well, when it comes to that stuff, I don't think the amount of fun that you can have as a group should be a really good like determining factor on whether or not a game is actually good, or the fact that you should buy this game. Because if you're just gonna have fun with like 4 friends, you could play Minecraft and go collect resources together.
I think
Minecraft is what?
I think when it comes to my opinion on like dicking around and having fun when it comes to Fallout 76, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it like a serious chance, and you know, actually try it in all aspects. But if I don't like it, it's just all gonna come down to, oh hey, my friends are playing this, and I need something to do, and I want to talk to my friends, and I want to have some fun dicking around or being semi-serious with my friends. That's what I'll play it for, and that's it. That's why I'm gonna spend the money on it.
I guess I guess it just really depends on how much you value like playing with friends. 1 second. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm playing War Thunder at the same time. That was a bad move. Okay, there we go. So it just really depends on how much you value that. Like I totally get the value of like playing with friends, and if you're having fun with them, then what does it matter? But to me, it's just like I could have fun with like. If I was playing a game with Bolt, I would probably have fun no matter what. It doesn't have to be Fallout for me to have fun playing with you guys. And so it's just for me, that's not a determining factor because I want to have fun with friends in a good game. I don't want to have fun with friends in a game where it's like, there's that thought in the back of my head. It's like, this game's kind of trash and I could be doing better things with my life.
I don't really play games much with Bolt. I think Fallout 76 is probably gonna be like the first experience I've had where I've like played a game with a long amount of time for Bolt.
You would play it with, like if you played with like Goof or something.
Well, so here's the thing about how if this game flops, this is how I'm gonna look at it. All right, so if a game is terrible, I look at it this way: I'm gonna have to play with friends, right? If this game flops, playing Fallout 76 alone and without friends is like playing Arma 3 alone. You just don't do that. That's not how it's meant to be played. Or it's like playing Gmod on a single player server. You can do it. It's not that much fun. And it or like a good example, The Division. That game.
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
I played it and I was like having so much fun with friends, and then I played single player. I was like, wow, this game's actually kind of shit because I could not kill a single person. But with all these people, it was like we were all fighting for this one thing, and it was fun. You know, like, don't get me wrong, Division, you know, that's another story. But like, still, I had fun with friends because we were all fighting for this one thing, and we were all like, this game's
having
awful.
Fun with it. You were just having fun with it, having fun with your friends, having fun with the game.
Yeah, I was, you know, like I'd spend my money, and if I buy a game that's $60, dude, this is so rare that I got a game for full price. I usually wait till sale. All right, if I pre-order a game, that's like, wow, why would you do that? You know, if I pre-order a game and a game flops, you know, damn, well, I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that just has it sit in his library for like you know, like years and then deletes it and just never plays it. I'm gonna play it, get my money's worth, and then I'll probably forget about it.
I just completely forgot to say this before. I was gonna say this before. I'm revising something what I said about the pre-order stuff and how I don't feel bad for you. I kind of get it a little bit more if you're buying physical copies. I understand getting physical copies. I love getting new cartridges for my Switch. But if you're pre-ordering stuff online, I think that's especially where I don't feel bad about it, especially if you get it through Steam. In Steam, you can, like, I feel if you can tell a game is bad within 2 hours,
you can refund
that game.
You can't do that with this game, though.
Yeah, and, well, that does suck for this one, but it's more just for, in general. And that's another thing that I really hate about Bethesda right now is that they're using their own custom thing, which is just... It's anti-consumer. I really feel like it's just anti-consumer. I don't really see what benefit I'm really getting by using that launcher. Then again, I haven't really seen the launcher, but it seems, if I recall, it was just kind of a slapdash.
Yeah,
like barely
it's
even
just
worked.
like a dashboard. You ever do you have like the NVIDIA NVIDIA card with like the GeForce Experience, and it's like, these are the games you own, we can optimize them. It's kind of like that with the Bethesda one. It's like, these are the games we offer, and you can play them.
There you go.
So
you can play them.
You know, there's
it's like Origin.
So far, at least, like,
Origin is terrible.
It's not very much like friend heavy and stuff like that. So that's where I kind of worry. Like with Steam, I can just be like, gonna go and join them right now. Whereas this, I'm like, I gotta scroll and like figure out you know,
scroll, click, yeet in there. That's it.
Yeah. Whereas this one, I think it'll be a little more different.
Or
to join
it might even be like BlizzNet. I can tell you, dude, that shit. No, when I played Overwatch, that thing was set to close as soon as I opened Overwatch.
No. Actually, no. Okay, as someone who like dedicated a year and a half of their life to just playing Overwatch, I can instantly cut that down. You can change those settings. It was so fucking easy, but it was also so stupid at the same time because it was shit. And they've done a lot of improving with just the Battle.net launcher itself, but it's still really bad.
Yeah, I feel like.
But you can change that setting to not have it close immediately when you open the game.
No, I know. I changed it to close it. I changed it to close immediately when I opened the game.
Why?
Because I didn't fucking want it open.
No one does friends lists like Steam does, though. And even then, they're changing it up a little bit too. So.
But obviously, I'm pretty sure people are gonna treat this game as an Origin. They're gonna be like, "All right, game open. All right, close. You know, or just
game
minimize.
Open. Bye."
That's it. They're not gonna use it for friends.
Mm-hmm.
They might use it. They might. It's a strong might.
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
so how's the multiplayer thing gonna work if we don't know how to get to our friends?
That's the other thing too, is like, say for instance, I'm a single player. Like with consoles, it's probably easier, you know. But in terms of if you're on the launcher and you're like, I'm a single player and I'm running around and I run into Joe Schmo, like, and I want to give them a friend request. You know, is it going to
How
be easy
are you gonna
just
do
to
that?
is that going to be easy just to go through the list of all the people in the server playing, or do I have to like just ask them for a name, or is it going to be the same name? You know, is there going to be like nicknames on the servers? Like, consoles definitely not, but PC, that's a different ball game. So
that kind of reminds me of another thing about this. I didn't really think about this, and maybe I just have bad luck with these type of games. But if this is going to be a game where it's just open PvP, where you can just go up and kill somebody,
yeah.
Whenever I play a game like that, whether it's like DayZ, Rust, GTA, how many people are you actually going to meet that you're going to want to be friends with in the first place? How many people are actually not just going to shoot you on sight?
Yeah.
Like, I guess I don't remember if this is a thing or not. It may be. I hope it is. But if I played this game with friends, I wouldn't want to play with other people at all. I would much rather just, like, if there's a mode where I can, me and 3 other friends.
PvE, like I said, yeah.
Like, it kind of PvE, but still co-op. Like, if that's the thing, then I think I will enjoy this game a lot more. I can't get over the fact that they're not going to have NPCs. And I'm just really worried that the story of this game is going to be like one of the weakest we've seen in this entire series.
Oh, but I have I think that they're gonna do all of. They've already looked at, not to spoil too much in terms of the footage, but this game will do. They'll go to new lows, basically, to, like, you know how people were angry about how the Brotherhood was treated and power armor and the explanation of super mutants and all that in Fallout 4. 76 will probably take it to a whole new definition of not caring about the lore, which I'm completely okay with. I like to make my own lore as a person, but, like, I'm gonna tell you without a doubt, if that Enclave armor is in the game, the Enclave will be in this game. Brotherhood of Steel will be mentioned to, like, no man's degree of ending. All right, like, they'll hit, like, every little faction. I don't be surprised if, like, they reference, you know, stuff from Fallout 4, Fallout 3. I don't think they'll go that far. Yeah, there used to be there's a man in the West, and it's like, well, that's not for 70 years or 200 years or something stupid. Like, wait a minute, I don't even know the timeline, but, like, you know.
Well, and that's just one of the things I really liked about Fallout games is, like, yes, they would have some things in the lore that wouldn't really make sense. But when you're making this big of a universe, that tends to just kind of happen, like, no matter what kind of game you're making. And one of the things I really enjoyed about these games was that if you wanted to, you can go and look into what happened to almost every building you entered. When it came to, like, New Vegas and Fallout 3 and stuff, pretty much every place had a story about what happened before the bombs fell.
There probably will be terminals and holotapes, because I've seen it, but I don't think they'll be. I just don't think they'll be interesting, especially because if you're a multiplayer, how much time are you going to be like, hey guys, hey Goof, did you see, this is Mary Sue, she was using the bathroom when she died, and there's a holotape that she was, like, rocking out to Jingle Jangle Jingle or something, and it's like, you know, I don't think we'll have that.
While taking a shit, and then she got brutally murdered.
Now that would be funny, but it's definitely not going to happen, and most likely you're not going to be reading terminals or holotapes or anything like that with your buddies, you know, so.
Well, I mean, that's not even, like, I don't even think that's really a big problem if you don't actually, like, talk about this stuff or it's something not worth mentioning while you're out exploring. It's just, like, that's just what I really liked about these games, and you could say it's kind of baseless, because I feel like that might be the way they tell the entire story, because apparently all your missions are through a freaking computer. But, I don't know. So, like, the backstory stuff I think will be fun, but I don't know if it's really gonna feel like, oh, I'm in an apocalyptic wasteland.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Oh man, there's so much lore behind this game.
Well, this is like the earliest, you know, Fallout game technically, as far as I remember. Like, I've heard.
Yeah.
What I don't get is, I don't know if y'all seen the map, but basically there's, like, a north and a south. The north is this luscious green, like, West Virginia mountains, and then you go south, and then you go south,
rivers,
and then you go south, and everything's, like, blown up and in ashes, and that just doesn't make any sense. If the bombs, like, just dropped, like, it's not like it's had time to regrow. It should, like, the Fallout should travel and go to the forest, and, like, everything there should be fucked up, but it's just luscious green. I'm like, how does that even work?
I don't even like the nuke feature at all in this game. Like
I don't want to talk about the nuke feature.
I'm completely turned off by that.
Nuke feature is so stupid, and it's pointless.
Yeah, I know we get like the fat man and the little boy, and like we get our own little handheld nukes in every other Fallout game. But this isn't like a handheld nuke. This isn't a rocket launcher that has a mini nuke. This is a nuclear bomb, and it's like
that you just found.
Well,
you're just like, oh, la, la, la. And then you're just like, oh, okay.
Watch if you don't watch any footage of Fallout 76, at least watch the very last 5 minutes when they have all the YouTubers go to the Vault 76 and watch the nuke drop, because it is still very close to the vault where you start off. So I don't think nukes will be everybody and their brother will have one, and especially on day one. So I think you have to worry there. But long term,
yeah,
especially Christmas is another big burst of when new players will hop in, and from here until Christmas, you're gonna see definitely those end game players. But
it also comes in effect that in the lore, you have to keep in mind that in hundreds of years, people are gonna have to rebuild. How the fuck do they expect the lore to play out for people rebuilding settlements when every 5 years a fucking another nuclear bomb goes off? And it's just
okay.
That's another pocket of radiation. I can't go.
Okay, can the lore the lore behind this one game makes no sense with the future games. So can they just declare it non-canon, please? Thanks.
They probably will eventually, because I just.
It makes
I don't know,
sense.
Are they making a statement with this? Because honestly, the one thing that I could say about the fact that the land in this map is supposed to be all green and pretty still, not completely annihilated.
But then there's desert portions also, from what I've seen.
Well,
this is not West Virginia, by the way.
Maybe the idea is that West Virginia wasn't a heavy target, because who the hell cares about West Virginia on an international level?
That's really true.
But it
the
also
thing that ruins it for me is maybe the actual point they're making is that these nukes are not as strong as we have as the ones we have in the real world, because I hate these nukes. You guys are bitching about it. I'm trying so hard to not just freak, because I haven't seen it for myself, so I don't know specifically, but these nukes are not doing anything. I saw a little bit of an intro where the first quest you're supposed to do, or the main thing, is to get these nukes and destroy them so that you can't they can't be used to destroy humanity again. But it's these nukes blow up a town.
Yeah,
that's it. They don't blow up anything.
But
why the hell should we care about these nukes? How many nukes were dropped to destroy the world if this is supposed to be one of the biggest threats to humanity? You could blow up a shack with these nukes.
But that's also the thing is it's not. So you talk about how it wasn't a big target. Yeah, but that's the thing about the way nukes work is nukes the Fallout travels. The reason we didn't just nuke Cuba is because the Fallout would travel.
No,
it wouldn't even take the Fallout would travel. I'll tell you that. But I'm sure the Fallout would travel somewhere into the north or something, and that would come in. But I'm sure it won't be this luscious Greenland. I can see some trees, but I'm not I don't want a big ass forest where it looks like it's been untouched.
Actually, what I feel they probably should have done is maybe set this even further in the future, another 100 years, make it 2377 or whatever the hell year it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, everything's built up more.
You have 300 years for the world to try to come back to normal.
And then you try to destroy it.
Because why in the world would you try to come back and rebuild society 25 years later? I get it, it's a decade and a half, and it's probably not as bad as it would be if you went 5 years later. But I just don't really see why you would go out 25 years. Why would you build this vault that's designed to survive centuries, and you completely abandon it 25 years later? Now, disclaimer, I'm totally aware that Vault Tech has had some of the most ridiculous plans ever. They're not the smartest people.
Ridiculous experiments. But aside from all of the Vault Tech experiments, there were certain vaults that weren't a part of that program, and there were normal vaults that just survived.
I mean, hell, that was like the whole point of the freaking vault in what was it, Vault 101? I forget the
It was to see
like,
how long you could go in isolation. Or
and
whatever.
that like
Cryogenics.
didn't really seem like this vault was built that differently. I just don't really see if their plan was to like recolonize America. Why would you only wait 25 years? And it's
the gimmick.
They're like forcing you out of the vault.
It's a
forcing
dad
people out of the
joke.
vault. It's a stupid strategy.
It's a dad joke. The tricentennial. It's like, all right, guys. Well, it's the tricentennial birth of America. So get out there and rebuild. And it's like, it's such a dad joke.
I don't.
Get out of my house right now!
He goes outside, his skin starts melting. He's like,
Jesus.
That's another thing. Is like they've been talking about this whole, get radiation, you get these mutations. Okay.
So you're saying I'm gonna grow a third eye?
Why can't I become a ghoul? All right, let's just be completely honest with you. At this
Yes.
point, if I start getting radiation, why is there not just an immediate, like, your body changes to, and your skin starts decaying, you become a ghoul at that point? Like,
it seems like they're encouraging you to uranium. Like, it seems like they're encouraging it.
But the whole process of becoming a ghoul is like, there's many different things that can happen when it comes to becoming a ghoul. Like, you could either become feral, or you could either become, like, a normal ghoul. Like that one ghoul from Fallout New Vegas. I forget her name, but she was like the cowboy ghoul that was like...
Oh, yeah, she was
the female
female
dominatrix, and she just, like, you could hire her as, like, a hooker to go work.
Dom from Dead Money, who was the singer.
And now they got the Scourge and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
You know what that
and then the Vault-Tec rep from Fallout 4, who you find, in Good Neighbor, and you're just like, hey, dude, come live with me, and you try to get answers from him.
I wish there was a little bit more information to go off on this stuff. It just kind of sucks how little is actually known about this, that, like, I can't see it for myself right now, so I don't want to make sweeping judgments. But it just seems out of the confirmed stuff we know, I'm not liking what I'm seeing so far. And granted, like, it's technically the next spin-off one, like New Vegas and stuff. So it's not the next huge mainstream thing.
Hey, that's a great segue to our last topic, by the way. Ready for the segue? Speaking more of Microsoft influencing Fallout, somebody loves Fallout a little too much because they bought Obsidian. And you know what Obsidian made?
Oh, no.
And you know what everybody who was born in the last 15 years and prior loved more than every other Fallout game?
Fallout New Vegas.
So, like, look at it this way, alright? Could we see a Fallout spin-off exclusive on Xbox?
Yeah, but it's Microsoft.
Yeah, it's Microsoft who's buying Obsidian. Can we just get Obsidian to make a spin-off, please?
Well, see, here's the thing. I think that actually probably just killed any chance of an Obsidian making another Fallout game, because Bethesda wasn't like willing to give them another chance even before this happened, and now they're going to be giving this IP to a developer that can only make it for Xbox now. I don't really see it happening. Like, I think that they're already pushing their own personal limits by giving Xbox an extra week or so. I'm positive that is just a money thing. I'm positive Microsoft just paid them a ton of money to do that. I'm not seeing them actually making exclusive games just for Xbox. Unless Microsoft is literally like, at that point, they might as well just bought Bethesda. It's not like Microsoft is bidding for money. They could have done it and, ruin their entire reputation for the rest of history.
Just leak Todd Howard's nudes.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft probably bought Obsidian. It's like, all right, make a Fallout game. It's like, hold on. They're like, wait a minute.
They're holding like all of the developers and everything like families hostage, and they're just like, make a Fallout game or you don't get to see your son.
Just think about it, though. Fallout New Vegas was not even a complete game technically in the eyes of Obsidian. Like, they still wanted to do so much more with Caesar's Legion, the map, and the New Vegas Strip and all that. So
yeah, the strip wasn't like they said the strip was supposed to be so much bigger, but it wasn't.
And that game came out what?
2010.
2010. I was gonna say 2008, but that's what Fallout 3.
Yeah,
so
that
like
was Fallout 3. 8 years ago.
8 years ago, all right. That's like
8 years
crazy.
ago, and it was still the best Fallout game.
That's crazy, you know.
You know, I thought of one thing.
Yeah.
I want to check this real fast. Well, I don't know. Because with this Obsidian thing, I'm not sure what they're really getting out of this project. Because really, outside of Fallout New Vegas, as far as I remember,
I'll look that up
like
too.
the main thing. What?
So I'm gonna look that up too because I can't recall any Obsidian interactive things.
Their other major games are those two South Park RPGs, the Stick of Truth and the Shattered But Whole. Love it. Love that.
Obsidian Entertainment, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, they did the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, did they make the second one? I forget.
They made the second one, which was another game that was rushed. Obsidian has very bad luck when it comes to. They make really good games. However, whoever their publisher is or whatever, like, they're the worst because they're like, "Yo, release this now," and it's like, well, we're making something that's truly amazing. So like, they did Wasteland 2 recently, which was okay. Pillars of Eternity, if you like that, and the South Park games, if you like those. The really only big ones I see are Knights of the Old Republic 2, which I imagine they don't have the license to work on that.
No,
and Fallout New Vegas, which I don't know if they have the license to work on that.
They cannot make a Fallout game.
Yeah, they can't.
Like, they have to go through Bethesda to do it. And now Microsoft bought them. Bethesda will not do that. Because that would mean the Bethesda would still have to publish it. They're not going to let Microsoft publish it as well as develop it. There's no way. There's no way. At that point, they might as well just bought Bethesda or bought the IP. I think that they probably bought this just because Obsidian has made good games. Like, the South Park games were incredibly popular. And then they have a proven record with Fallout New Vegas and stuff like Knights of the Old Republic 2. But it's just... That sucks. That really does suck because that was supposed to be really hopeful. Like, that was what I was hoping for, is that they would actually let Obsidian do that. I didn't hear about that acquisition until just now. Damn it.
Just go for it. Just unleash. No,
I will say New Vegas is probably my favorite Fallout game.
I think what made, like, you know, Star Wars and Marvel and all that really special was it was not just one, you know, developer for the game. It was multiple, you know, even though you still have that majority when it comes to like LucasArts or Bethesda in Fallout's case, like, you had different people giving their input and bringing stuff in, and you know, I don't know, I don't know what the Obsidian purchase could entail for Microsoft.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Same with Fallout 76, though. I think long term, you know, if you look at any game that now, like, I don't want to talk about it, but we have to. Fortnite, all right? Solo, I don't see much enjoyment in it, but, you know, when you play with buddies and whatnot, really fun, all right? Given that's a free-to-play game, you know. But Fallout 76, you know, $60 or plus, you know.
Yeah.
So it's that long-term, like, how...
I would play... I don't like Fortnite, but I would play Fortnite any day over Fallout 76, and it hasn't even come out yet.
Cyrus, if you were to put a time on how long this game would last, how long would it be? Because they're saying that this should be a game that lasts forever, right?
You mean
that's
like
a
how long
very...
it would take to complete everything, or however long I would play?
No.
How long the fan base would last before it would die out?
Because they're saying that this game could be played forever, you know, and that's given they're really highly, you know, mods and private servers once they're done supporting the game. But, like, is this the only Fallout multiplayer game we're gonna get? That's the thing. And is this the one that the community will have to really work on.
Is this what we're gonna be stuck with?
Hey, Fallout Tactics had multiplayer too, though. I'm just saying that.
I really think that you can't even make that type of judgment until the game comes out, just because, like, the way I see it is they're kind of playing with fire with this whole thing, especially now that they say that you could play it forever and all that crap. Because as soon as they said that, I was like, okay, you're just talking shit now. Oh,
I say when it comes to people saying that, oh, you can play this game forever. Yes, you can play that game forever. Will it be popular, I don't know, 3-4 years in the future? Maybe. Probably not. It won't be as popular and mainstream. You're obviously going to be able to play the game forever, but as each year goes on, the fan base is going to get smaller and smaller. And I guess that's just how it's gonna happen. It's gonna last forever. Every game lasts forever. But it's just the fan base that's gonna either die out, get smaller, increase. I don't know. Only time will tell.
Yeah, games can last a while. Like, fan bases can last for a while. But the thing is that if you've noticed the pattern with games that last ages, those games have a lot of, like, custom, like, you know, you can make mods, you know, and I know the whole mod thing till 2019, that might like kickstart the fan base again. I think after launch, give it like 7 months, people will be like, yeah, this is kind of fun, I guess. But like most games that you know, like, people are still playing that are old have some like mods or user made something, so they're gonna have to not just like allow that type
they're
of
gonna
stuff.
have to continuously work on it to really keep the fan base going for years. They're gonna have to put tons of time into it. They're gonna have to put tons of effort into it if they really want this game to succeed. They can't just half-ass it and be like, oh, it's out now, we're done.
It sounds really bad, but they have to find the good balance between the microtransactions, getting the money out of it, and customization, and how much they add on to it. Because an update is an update, and it's free for us. So I really hope, I do not think they'll do it. It would be really stupid to shoot themselves in the foot and do a Elder Scrolls-esque Return to Morrowind or a Fallout 76 would Return to the Commonwealth, you know, type of deal. It could happen. It might. It wouldn't even be a return to the Commonwealth. It'd be like first steps in the Commonwealth. But I think you gotta update it. You gotta give customization. That's the key thing here. I've been seeing a lot of great stuff with like the vendors and the robots. So like there's different robots that'll have like, I'm a robot that sells suits, or I'm one that sells raider gear and stuff like that. So like there's good stuff.
We better get a robot with that just only plays country roads. That's all I need. How
are ratings going? I'm gonna add a little something to this, and I think we might be looking at this the wrong way in terms of what
are you thinking there, Oz?
Game with friends, and you can have that good time. But I feel like people who do that, most of the time, they usually move on to the next best thing. Like once a new big game comes out, one of the people in that group is going to get it, and then everybody's going to flock to that new game.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really kills these games for me, at least from what I've seen, if this game isn't good out the box, most people are just going to leave. There's not really that much incentive to stay with these games if they suck. Especially if all your friends knows it sucks. Like if it's bad enough that anybody can tell by playing it,
that it sucks.
They're not going to wait for updates to come out. That is one of the biggest problems with this industry is there's too many games that release in a crappy state and just pray and expect players to come fixed. The only game that I can recall in recent memory that has had that kind of luck is Rainbow Six Siege. they somehow, by some miracle, revived their community. For Honor kind of did that, but even after they had that resurgence of players,
they had to make it
nobody
free.
Talks about it anymore.
They had to give away like all these free copies.
Yeah, For Honor had to take it even far. Like Siege was lucky enough to have people try their free weekends and stuff. I don't think they really gave the game away. But For Honor, I only have it in my Steam library because it was free. They had to give it to me.
Oh yeah, and 76 will definitely do stuff like that. They'll be like, "Here's a free weekend." It's not on Steam, so it'll be awkward. But I think they'll definitely do stuff like that.
But considering how much stuff and how much money Bethesda's already putting into this, and the fact that they're going to have to work on Elder Scrolls 6 right after this, or hell, they're probably working on it right now at this point, like heavily working on it. God damn. And my thing is like, I'm not sure if this game sucks at launch. I'm not sure how much better it's going to be and how well it's going to do if they fix anything. Like, I think this game might be flawed to its core, and Bethesda's not really going to be capable of actually fixing it. They'll probably just abandon it and move on to Elder Scrolls and focus all on that. Because they're just saying, like, okay, this ship is sunk. Let's build a new one.
They don't really have the hook needed for the game to really get players to stay and for those updates to really make the game playable and better. The reviews are mixed. Everything about the game is mixed. Everyone, it's probably not going to be good.
Well, let's look on the bright side. We can both safely say it probably won't be as big of a flop as No Man's Sky was. That hurt everyone. Yeah. Like everyone's like, this is gonna be great. That's a terrible game. Wow, that was.
I think the problem with that was it was a lie because you expected multiplayer and you expected so much, and Bethesda does the opposite. They're like shh, and they're like, maybe, we might have this in the game, and then all of a sudden they're like, there's gonna be 400 hours worth of footage tomorrow, and it's like, how do you go from not talking about the game at all, like, and then boom, everybody in the world 400 hours of footage, and it's still only like everyone's doing the same like 30-minute little startup of choosing their character and whatnot, and then moving around that base little area. There's only, I think, 1 or 2 YouTubers that I've seen that they made their entire 3 hours of playing that game, they ran all the way to the other side of the map, and of course the game was in a very buggy state, so it was like really choppy and weird for them, but it was interesting to see, that little track across the map. There are cities, that's a plus. So
I think the thing when it comes to like Bethesda, they're always super quiet about a game. They're always super quiet. They've always been super quiet. And it's not good at all. Because it's all left on maybes, and then when they finally announce it, they usually announce it a couple months, before the release date, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm just hearing about this now. Is it going to be bad, or is it going to be good?
I don't know. Time shall tell. But that is going to wrap it up here, my friends, for Fallout 76 and the podcast. Within the next couple days of this podcast being out, of course, the stress test will have already occurred, but then Xbox users will be getting their hands on the game, and then we'll be heading over to PC and PS4, and then not too long after that, the game will actually be out. Of course, it's looking like it'll be the entirety of the game for the beta, which is awkward, but the full game might have like a couple more stuff added to it, or who knows? Who knows? But
only time will tell.
Only time will tell, and heal the wounds or whatever. But keep it safe.